There's a law of life that few people understand, but it can change everything if you let it. The harder you try to control something, the more it seems to slip away. Whether it's a goal, a relationship, or even peace of mind, our instinct to hold tightly often works against us. This isn't about effort or ambition. It's about the emotional weight we attach to outcomes. Imagine trying to carry water in a closed fist. The tighter you grip, the less you hold. But when your hand is open, the water rests there, undisturbed. Detachment works the same way. It's not about giving up or caring less. It's about finding freedom in letting go of control. This isn't always intuitive, but it's powerful. Detachment creates space for life to flow naturally, opening doors you never could have forced open. It's not about expecting less, it's about being open to more. Detachment isn't just a concept, it's a solution to one of life's most common frustrations. How often have you found yourself wanting something so badly, an opportunity, a connection, a victory, only to feel it slipping further away the harder you tried? That's the paradox of attachment. The more you cling, the more resistance you create. When you're overly attached to an outcome, your mind is clouded by fear. Fear of failure, rejection, or losing control keeps you in a cycle of overthinking and anxiety. This emotional weight doesn't just drain you, it sabotages your performance. Imagine trying to perform in a high-pressure situation, like a job interview or an important presentation, while being consumed by thoughts of what could go wrong. The result? You're less likely to show up as your best self. Detachment offers a different path. It allows you to approach life with calm and clarity. By letting go of the need for a specific result, you free yourself to act with intention, not desperation. This doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop fearing. When you detach, your energy shifts from obsessing over outcomes to focusing on what you can control. This principle applies in every area of life. In relationships, clinging too tightly can push people away, creating tension instead of connection. In work, obsessing over perfection can lead to burnout and missed opportunities. Even in personal growth, the fixation on progress can make you feel stuck, as if no amount of effort is ever enough. Detachment isn't about doing less, it's about showing up differently. It's trusting that your effort is enough, even if the outcome looks different from what you imagined. When you detach, you align with the natural flow of life. You create space for possibilities that rigid control could never allow. Detachment is more than just a strategy for living. It's a spiritual practice. It's rooted in the belief that life unfolds as it's meant to, and that trying to control every detail only leads to frustration. At its core, detachment is about trust. Trust in yourself, in the process, and in the larger forces at work in the universe. One of the most transformative aspects of detachment is the shift from fear to trust. When you're attached to an outcome, it's often because you believe your happiness or success depends on it. But this belief comes from a place of lack, a fear that without this specific thing, you won't be okay. Detachment asks you to let go of this fear and embrace the idea that what is meant for you will not pass you by. This isn't passivity, it's surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the illusion of control and making peace with uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and detachment allows you to navigate it with grace instead of resistance. Meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating detachment. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you learn to separate yourself from them. You begin to see that your worth is not tied to any single outcome, and this awareness creates freedom. Gratitude is another cornerstone of detachment. When you focus on what you already have, you're less likely to fixate on what you think you're missing. Gratitude grounds you in the present, reminding you that your life is abundant, even when things don't go as planned. Detachment is also about perspective. When you let go of needing everything to work out perfectly, you open yourself to the unexpected gifts life has to offer. Often, the things we resist the most are the ones that teach us the greatest lessons. This spiritual foundation of detachment is liberating. It reminds you that you don't have to control every outcome to live a meaningful, fulfilling life. Instead, you can trust the process and embrace the journey, knowing that each step is unfolding exactly as it should. Detachment is often misunderstood as a lack of care, but it's the opposite. It's about putting your energy where it truly matters, into actions and intentions, while releasing the emotional weight of outcomes. This shift isn't passive. It's a deliberate, empowering practice that allows you to engage deeply with life without being consumed by fear or obsession. Let's start with a fundamental principle. You can't control everything. Detachment begins with this realization. When you stop trying to force outcomes that are beyond your influence, you conserve your energy for what you can actually shape: your thoughts, your actions, and your perspective. Imagine the relief of focusing on what's within your power rather than worrying endlessly about what isn't. It's like stepping out of a storm and finding shelter in your own calm. The next step in practical detachment is to redefine success. Instead of measuring your worth by external achievements or results, shift your focus to how you show up. Are you giving your best effort? Are you staying true to your values? This perspective creates freedom, because it removes the pressure of needing every step to lead to a specific destination. Success, then, becomes about the integrity of the journey, not just the destination itself. Building daily habits that reinforce detachment can be transformative. Small, intentional practices help you release the grip on control. For example, at the end of each day, take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? It could be a fear, a frustration, or a need for validation. Writing these down or saying them aloud can create a tangible sense of release. Over time, this practice shifts your mindset and helps you face uncertainty with greater ease. Detachment is also about leaning into curiosity instead of fear. When faced with challenges, replace the anxious question of "what if I fail?" with "what might I learn?" This shift changes the narrative, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we plan, and detachment helps you embrace this truth with a sense of openness rather than resistance. In relationships, detachment plays a vital role. It's natural to want to protect what matters most to us, but clinging too tightly can suffocate even the strongest bonds. Detachment means trusting the connection you've built and allowing others the freedom to be themselves. This doesn't mean disengaging. It means fostering relationships based on mutual respect and authenticity rather than fear of loss or control. One of the most powerful ways to practice detachment is through visualization. Imagine yourself acting freely, unburdened by the fear of failure or rejection. Picture how you would show up in the world if you weren't weighed down by the need for everything to go exactly as planned. This mental exercise doesn't just inspire, it conditions your mind to respond to life's uncertainties with strength and clarity. Finally, detachment invites you to celebrate progress instead of fixating on perfection. Every step forward, no matter how small, is part of your growth. When you detach from the idea that only the final result matters, you allow yourself to appreciate the process. The journey becomes just as fulfilling as the outcome, if not more so. Practical detachment isn't about withdrawing or caring less. It's about participating in life fully and intentionally, without being enslaved by the fear of what could go wrong. It's a quiet confidence that allows you to act boldly while trusting that the right results will come in their own time. In embracing detachment, you find the balance to give your all while letting go of the rest. This is how life flows most freely, when you learn to let go without ever giving up. Detachment is deeply tied to emotional mastery, and one cannot exist without the other. To detach effectively, you must first understand your emotions, and that begins with awareness. Emotions like fear, anxiety, and longing often drive attachment. They convince us that we need certain outcomes to feel safe or fulfilled. But these feelings, while real, are not truths. They're signals. Detachment invites you to notice them without letting them dictate your actions. The first step in mastering your emotions is separating yourself from them. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. When you feel overwhelmed by fear or doubt, take a moment to pause and simply acknowledge the feeling. Label it. This is fear, or this is uncertainty. By naming your emotions, you create space between who you are and what you feel, allowing clarity to return. Detachment doesn't mean suppressing emotions. Suppression is like shoving trash into a bin that never gets emptied. It only builds up over time. Instead, detachment teaches you to process emotions by letting them flow naturally. Imagine a river. When you let emotions flow, they move past you. But if you try to block them, they stagnate and create tension. Another powerful tool for emotional detachment is reframing. Fear and excitement, for example, are two sides of the same coin. Before a big moment, a date, a presentation, or a competition, you might feel your heart race and your palms sweat. Instead of labeling this as fear, try seeing it as excitement. This small shift changes your relationship with the emotion, transforming it into energy that fuels you rather than paralyzes you. Detachment also helps with overthinking. When you're too emotionally invested in an outcome, your mind tends to spiral into what-if scenarios. This creates anxiety and robs you of peace. A mantra like, "I don't need to control this moment," can be grounding. By reminding yourself that you've done what you can, you quiet the noise in your mind and allow yourself to simply be. Even the greatest performers and leaders rely on emotional detachment to succeed. They understand that nerves, doubts, and fears are part of being human. What sets them apart is their ability to feel these emotions without letting them dictate their behavior. Detachment teaches you to coexist with your emotions rather than be consumed by them. Ultimately, emotional mastery through detachment is about freedom. Freedom to act without fear, to embrace uncertainty without panic, and to experience life without being weighed down by the need for everything to go your way. This freedom is what allows you to show up as your best self, no matter the circumstances. The essence of detachment lies in trust. A trust that life will unfold as it should, and that your worth is not tied to any specific outcome. Expecting nothing doesn't mean you lack ambition or goals. It means you're willing to embrace whatever the journey brings. This mindset creates a profound sense of freedom, allowing you to act with clarity and courage, unburdened by fear or obsession. At its core, trusting the flow of life requires releasing the illusion of control. Think about how much energy we spend trying to manipulate outcomes, replaying what-if scenarios, or second-guessing every decision. This constant push for control is exhausting and rarely productive. When you let go of the need to dictate every step, you align yourself with life's natural rhythm. Instead of forcing things, you create space for opportunities to arise organically. Trusting the flow doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you try without fear. It's the difference between planting seeds in a garden and obsessing over their growth. You water them, you nurture them, but you don't dig them up every day to check if they're sprouting. Detachment is about having faith in your actions without being consumed by their outcomes. One way to build this trust is to practice shifting your focus from outcomes to the present moment. Ask yourself, what is the best I can do right now? By anchoring yourself in the present, You quiet the noise of doubt and reconnect with the task at hand. This presence is where your true power lies, not in the future you can't control, but in the now, where you can act decisively. Another tool for trusting the flow is adopting a mantra like, "What's meant for me will not pass me by." This simple affirmation reminds you that life has its own timing and that what's truly aligned with you will find its way. It's a reminder to let go of the rush, to trust the pauses and detours, and to believe in the bigger picture. Expecting nothing also teaches resilience. When you release the need for everything to go a certain way, setbacks and failures lose their sting. They're no longer disasters, they're simply part of the process. This resilience gives you the strength to keep moving forward, knowing that each step, no matter how small or imperfect, is valuable. Detachment also invites curiosity. Instead of being locked into one vision of success, you open yourself to new possibilities. Maybe the path you envisioned isn't the only path. Maybe there's something even better waiting just out of sight. Trusting the flow allows you to explore without fear of getting it wrong, knowing that every experience has something to teach you. Ultimately, expecting nothing doesn't mean you have no desires. It means you trust that the universe will meet you halfway, as long as you show up fully. This trust isn't blind. It's built on the understanding that life is a partnership. You bring effort and intention, and life responds in its own time, often in ways you couldn't have predicted. Freedom lies in this balance, striving without clinging, caring without obsessing, and acting without fear of the unknown. When you embrace this mindset, you'll find that expecting nothing doesn't limit you, it opens the door to everything. Detachment is not just a philosophy, it's a practice that can transform how you navigate daily life. Whether it's your career, relationships, or personal growth, learning to detach can bring a sense of peace and clarity that makes every moment more meaningful. In relationships, detachment means letting go of the need to control how others feel or act. It's about showing up authentically and allowing others to do the same. Instead of clinging to the fear of losing someone, focus on building connections based on trust, respect, and mutual growth. This doesn't weaken your bonds, it strengthens them. When people feel free to be themselves, relationships flourish. In your career, detachment can help you navigate challenges with grace. Instead of tying your self-worth to promotions, projects, or recognition, focus on the effort you put in and the skills you develop. By detaching from the need for constant validation, you'll perform better and find more joy in your work. Detachment also plays a key role in personal growth. Whether you're pursuing fitness goals, learning a new skill, or cultivating mindfulness, it's easy to become overly fixated on progress. Detachment shifts the focus from perfection to consistency. You don't need to achieve everything at once, you just need to keep showing up. To integrate detachment into your daily life, start small. Practice gratitude to remind yourself of what's already abundant. Reflect on what you can control versus what you can't. And when fear of failure or loss creeps in, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I don't need to control everything. I'm doing enough. The law of detachment teaches us a powerful truth. When we release the need to control outcomes, we create space for life to unfold in ways we never imagined. It's not about giving up on your dreams. It's about trusting the process, embracing uncertainty, and showing up with an open heart. By detaching, you gain clarity. You can focus on what truly matters, your actions, your mindset, and the values that guide you. This clarity frees you from the weight of fear and obsession, allowing you to act with purpose and joy. Life's greatest opportunities often come when we least expect them. Detachment isn't about expecting less. It's about being open to more. It's about trusting that the right things will come at the right time, as long as you keep moving forward. As you practice detachment, you'll find that it transforms not just how you approach your goals, but how you experience life. You'll discover a deeper sense of peace, knowing that you are enough, no matter the outcome. Let this be your reminder. The more you let go, the more life flows. Expect nothing, and you'll gain everything.